Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the Sports Club. As you could tell already, this is not a normal show. We are with you every week from 7 to 8, and we usually talk sports with you, which we will do tonight. We are live, and the numbers eventually will be coming up at the bottom of your screen. We'll have many guests, of course, tonight. As you know by our credits and by the crazy guys in the other room, we are giving about an hour and a half. We're going to go an extra half hour tonight. A tribute to the Yorktown Cornhuskers Class B 1993 champions, state champions. That's right, they went up to Syracuse and beat up 23-13. They won the big game. Of course, this final weekend they had to win one bowl game, of course, against Gorton a couple of weeks back, then two other bowl games. One was a shutout a couple of weeks ago in Kingston, and of course this week they won the big one, and they are, of course, as I said, Class B state champions. We'll have many players from the team. We'll have some cheerleaders on today, assistant coaches, and we want all the boosters or parents or anybody who would like to call when you see the players of your choice that you'd like to ask questions or congratulate. Call at that time. Once again, the two numbers will be, and there they are, 962-5313, 962-4948. My name is Jim Campion. A little later in the program, Tom Ragone, my partner, he'll be in the big room. He'll be talking to some of the players that won't be coming in the studio tonight. As I said, this is a new setup for us. We usually have the desk and the banners and everything, but we're going to try to accommodate as many players as we possibly can. Once again, the Class B champions, the Yorktown Cornhuskers, are our guests. We'll try to get as many guys in the studio tonight, and we are live. Now, we'll start off the show with the head coach, the head honcho, the man, the myth, the coach, the head guy for the Yorktown Cornhuskers, Mr. Ron Santavica. And Ronnie, after, what is it now, 6 years now? 6? Can't even count. 7 years, you finally got the elusive state championship. So from everybody here, congratulations. He is joined by his son Anthony and his son Paul. Now, you guys, how old are you guys now?
I'm 9 and Paul's 7.
You are 7, Paul?
Yep.
You can confirm that? Okay. All right, so, all right, Dad. Tell me a little bit about the season, not just the game. We'll talk about the game in a moment. I didn't have a chance to go up. I know a lot of the kids called and abused me. I had to be at a wedding last week. But I saw I saw the bowl game against Gorton, one of the great football games I ever saw, and the other two, which you guys handily took care of. But take me back to the beginning of the season when you got ready in July, August, even before for you guys in the summer. Was there any thought, since it's the very first state championship, that you guys would be in the Syracuse Carry-Go? Any thought that went into your head at that moment?
Well, early on we were talking bowl. You know, we wanted to be bowl champs. And in the back of our minds we had discussed about the possible run of being a state champ. And we never put that in front. Because we always take each game one at a time.
One at a time, right.
And as we worked towards it and as it got closer, it became more evident that we had a shot at this. And the kids just responded so well. I mean, they came to play week in and week out. And it just has been an incredible high. The thing that I've enjoyed most since we've come home is when I look at these guys' faces and they're walking around and they're beaming from ear to ear and they got this big smile and this twinkle in their eye, knowing what they've accomplished. It's just been an incredible high this whole week.
Sure, and not only you, but all the guys on the team can now say they live their whole lives. A lot of guys don't get a chance to play in college, don't get a chance, obviously, to play in the pros. This is, for some of them, their last game at a competitive level of football, and they get to go out as champs. And that's part of the beam, probably, is just knowing that, you know, this could never be taken away from them.
Oh, absolutely. You know, only 2% of the population ever win at anything. And by being a state champ, and in the sport of football, that's probably the hardest sport to do it in. Sure. Because if you lose one game, which we did, but if you would have lost 2 games,
right, or any of the playoff games that you were in,
you're out.
That's it.
Whereas if you're in another sport where they play, basketball plays 25 games, yeah. Baseball may play 30 games, you could finish at 20-5 and still be in the thick of the race. Mm-hmm. But in football, the accomplishment of losing one game, playing as hard as you can, and you only get one time a week, and that's the difference too. You know, in another sport, basketball, you could play 3 games in 1 week, be 2-1, have a successful week. You get one chance a week to show what you can do, and then to do that for 12 weeks and come out on top, it's incredible.
Yeah, and
Absolutely incredible.
And you also mentioned in the North Carolina News, I had a chance to read before the show, that this is the kind of high that people should be striving for, the kind of achievements that make you feel like you're on top of the world, even if it's for a moment, because I'm sure once this is over, you'll save it for a couple of months. You got to think about next year, so it's probably tougher for you and your coaches, but for some of these kids, they can think about this for the rest of their lives.
Well, you know, the ones who are graduating, this will be a fond memory that nobody can ever take away from them. 20, 30 years down the road, hopefully in 10 years we'll have a reunion with the whole team and we'll relive this moment. Now we were just laughing in the back room talking about repeat, you know, and you know, could we do it? Would it be feasible? We'll savor this moment, considering that this is the first. You know, this is the first inaugural state championship playoff system, and we're the first school in Westchester ever to win the state championship.
And you'll always be first.
And we'll always be
just like the Packers and Vince Lombardi in the first Super Bowl, right?
That's Vinny DeAndrea's quiz question, right?
Right.
So you'll be the first, and you can never take it away. But you know, where we've come from, how we've worked, watch these young men grow as a group, that's what it's all about. That's where the high comes from, to see them take the lessons that they've learned. And we're not talking just football, we're talking about how to work together, respect each other, care about each other, have a mutual love for each other, and to get the job done. It's just incredible.
Now, 1987, I believe, and we have calls, we'll get to them in a moment, but in 1987, I think you took the program over, and I think you went 2-5 that year, and then I think I interviewed you in 1991, before I did a pregame with you for Cablevision, was broadcasting one of your games. I remember distinctly, you sat right here, and I remember you telling me, we changed the uniforms, we changed the image, we want people to think this is always lacrosse school, and this is always something else. I wanted people to think football. This must be a great achievement, not only for you and the people who worked on this, but people talked about Yorktown football. This whole town was alive. In fact, right before the game in Kingston, I said to you, Coach, this is the most exciting thing that's happened in this town in a long time. You go, we're going to cite them all the way to Syracuse. So do you know what you've done, not only winning this year, but for the program over the last 5, 6, 7 years? You've built up football. People think of Yorktown football now after you've won this championship.
Well, you know, I would like to think that we have built a good program. The coaches and the players that have come through the program have had so much to do with this. You know, this is not about me. This is about our total program. And it's funny that you put it in those kind of words, and I never realized just how much of an impact, you know, until you said it, really, that we've had. You know, people look at sports, people who don't know about the time and effort put into it, and they say, oh, you know, there's a guy, he's out there calling plays. Well, that's not what it's about. It's about how you teach, and coaching is teaching. And now that you put it in a different perspective, all I can say is wow.
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
I'm glad I was able to shed some light, because I always remember that interview, and I remember you telling me you wanted to change the program around, and that's what you guys did today. I mean, this week is, and these last few months, is just drill into people's head. This is Yorktown football territory now, and it's great. Now, let me just ask Anthony and Paul quickly. You guys happen to be on the sidelines for all this. When your dad's out there coaching, he's got the lucky shorts on, he's got the breaker, he's got the hat. Is he your dad? Do you see the same guy as at the dinner table? You tell me, Anthony, first.
No.
Different guy, huh?
Yeah, because he's seriouser, and he won't fool around. And when he's at the dinner table and when he's at home, he'll fool around with us and he'll answer our questions, but not on the sideline because he wants to coach the team.
That's right. It's his job. It's like you bring him to the office. Now, you tell me, Paul. Now, well, Anthony wanted to say hi to somebody at home, so let's give Anthony a chance. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hi, Mom. And Nonny and Grandpa wanted me to say hi to them from the TV.
Okay, there you go, Anthony. Right there. Make sure you get everybody in so you go home with a happy face. You get dinner tomorrow, right? Now, you tell me, Paul, what was it like following the team? Is this kind of exciting for you? And not just because it's your dad, but just being with the guys and hanging out. Was it a lot of fun this season?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun this season.
Yeah? Go ahead. Anything else you want to say? You want to congratulate the guys or anything?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Look right at that camera and say congratulations to all the guys. They're watching.
Congratulations, guys!
All right. Hey, Coach, we have a couple of calls. We'll keep you on for a couple more minutes, and we'll bring more people in. I don't know if we do have... Imagine we do. 5313 is dealed up. So let's go to that. Welcome to the show. I don't know your name, so say your name and ask your question. I got it up. I don't hear anybody, so... Is anybody on? Hello, yes.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to congratulate the coach. I know the kids did it because they have a great coach behind them. He's the best. I'm Mrs. Perez.
Oh, Mrs. Perez, Coach.
Yes.
Thank you, Mrs. Perez.
Wear the shorts.
Thank you.
Wear the shorts.
Where? She wants to know where they are,
Where's
Coach.
my shorts? It's a little cold. We don't have any game tonight. I got pants on for a change.
We have to frame them for next year.
All right.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mrs. Perez, for calling. The lines are open. You can call. Tell me about that, though. When did you decide that you were just going to wear the same coat? Because talk about cold. It was about 20 degrees in the Gorton game, and that game went on forever. The first half was 800 minutes, as far as I can remember. I mean, it was, what was the halftime score? Something like 21-17 or 28. I mean, when was there a particular game that you guys won? You said, I'm not changing. That's it. This is what I'm going to wear every game.
Well, we started out the season real good by beating Greeley, and they were preseason ranked #1.
Right.
And we were rolling along, and once we got beat by Brewster, the next game was Austin. We knew that was the turning point of the season. We had to beat our nemesis over the years. And once we won that game, I said, that's it. This is what I'm wearing until anybody beats us again. So when we were up in the Carrier Dome, the head coach of Syracuse, Paul Pasqualoni, he was up watching the game, and he turned to my buddies, Tony DiMatteo and Danny DiMatteo, and said, that's it, I'm changing my coaching attire. Here he is in shorts with gloves on in the Carrier Dome. He says, and he's winning, I have to change my attire. So it's become superstitious, you know, with all the coaches. The only one who's not is Coach Paradiso. So the rest of us are, we eat the same meal on Monday night, we all eat together. You know, we go through our pregame rituals. You know, like even the kids, they have their little superstitions.
Sure.
And we have ours. And not only does it fun, but it just like enhances everything you're doing. So I went with the same attire right down to the socks. My wife did the laundry one day, she put everything in a different place, and I went bananas. So I got it all together, and after she does the laundry, I stack them in a pile, put them in a corner, and they stay there till game day. And I'm going to wear the exact same outfit opening day next year.
All right, so Mrs. Sanavecchia, you didn't know this, but you were a mainstay in the program this year, just from the way you washed and put everything. Well, Coach, last question, and I guess you answered it about the Ossining game, because last year John Jay beat Ossining and Ossining. They went on to win the Class B. It was interesting. Everybody looks at the Ossining game, but is there any particular moment that you could take from this season that really is indelible on you? I know you beat your very good friend, you mentioned him, Don DiMatteo, in the Gorton game, which was one of the great football games I ever saw. Of course, you had that great win on opening day against Greeley, and they had their quarterback, which they didn't have for the rest of the season. And then, of course, the Ossining game, and all the playoff games, and, of course, the Carrier Dome. Any particular moment, not a game or a play, anything you could take from this season that you'll remember forever?
It's kind of strange, but I think the Gorton game might have been the greatest game that I was ever involved in. For sheer excitement and enthusiasm, and it almost made the rest of the season anticlimactic. You know, we had to go out and win 3 games to be state champs.
Right.
And it was funny, when we went through Saugerties, it was like we were on a mission.
Right.
And, you know, I just can't even describe it. We were just so focused on what we were doing. I'll tell you the highlight of the state championship, though. I went into a meeting, and they were kind of giving us a little hard time about being Section 1, you know.
Right.
And then they told us that they named the state players of the year. And I was like, wait, you have 4 teams from Section 1 and no state player. How could that be? Well, we never got any information. Well, I went back and I conveyed that to the team in a typical fashion of mine, which...
A little pregame hype?
A little pregame excitement.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, Randy Deans couldn't even start in our backfield. Well, the highlight for me was I turned to Ari Leach, and I said to him, he's not even as good as you, and you don't start. Well, in the middle of the first quarter, something like that, Michael Myers said he was having trouble breathing because he was so hyped.
It's hot there, right,
He
too,
was
yeah.
so hyped up. Well, when I put Ari in, he was like on a mission.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, every once in a while I put Michael back in. But to watch Ari on his mission was just incredible. Because now you got to know Ari. He's very quiet, never says much. And to see him excited, like he was, and the rest of the players too. But that'll always stick in my mind. And the night before the game, he was eating ice cream, and he said to me, you know, he said to me and Coach Costello, you know, Coach, they could have waited till after this game before they decided. Well, right then and there, I knew he was going to have a hell of a game.
Yeah, and he was the MVP.
And he was just...
On the offense, yeah.
I won't even tell you what we said when they were handing out the MVP plaques. It'd be too embarrassing to sit in anger.
Okay, fair enough. All right, just want to know, before we let the coach go, and he is here with his sons Anthony and Paul, we're being very quiet, probably the quietest they have been in months, right?
Oh, this is a treat. You guys should be in front of the tube all the time.
That's right. They're
Your
putting
mother would love this.
they're putting it on for Santa, because it's Santa time. Anybody for the coach? Can they tell you? Because I don't have an earpiece in. They are, so I can go to either one of these, and then we'll go to Tom Margone, who's in the big room with the rest of the players. Tell me who's on the line. Just yell it out, Jen. By the way, we have Jen and Chris Barrera, my good pal here in the studio running the cameras. Anybody? Who is this?
Mrs. Anderson?
Okay, we have, what number?
4948.
4948. I usually wear an earpiece, but it's so loud that my eardrum, it gave up in the pre-show warm-up, so I decided to get rid of it. So Mrs. Anderson is on 4948. We're going a little, not so formal tonight. Mrs. Anderson, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Have anything to say to the
Oh, I
kids?
have a lot to say to that man. He is absolutely dynamic. Behind every great team, there's a dynamic coach, and that is you, Santa Vica. I have to tell you, ever since Robbie went or started football, you have been there for the children. You've given them motivation. You've given them the determination. You've made them focus on going to school, good grades. You have been the best thing for Yorktown High School, for coaching, and for the students, and of course for the parents. We just want to let you know that we love you. Thank you so very much. You are the best.
Thank you,
And
Mrs. Anderson.
another quick note, today is Rob's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Rob.
Oh, she gave Mrs. Anderson, we have something special set up for Rob, but we're not supposed to say anything, but Mrs. Anderson blew it, but that's okay, though. That's okay. But Mrs. Anderson, you won't want to miss later on in the show.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
And we love you, Ron Santa Vica.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thanks a million.
All right, thanks for calling, and we have who up next, Jen, on 5313. Kenneth, just tell Jen, and she'll tell me whoever's up for the coach.
Mr. Lodwick?
Okay, Mr. Lodwick.
5313.
On 5313, one of the players, right? Adam Lodwick's dad. Welcome to the show, Mr. Lodwick.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
And I couldn't agree more with Mrs. Anderson. But what we'd like to know is, because you have done such a wonderful job with the children, will you come back next year?
Loaded question, huh? I think I will. I'll tell you.
Yes!
I think I will. I mean, I love these guys. You know, the parents throw these accolades at me, and it's really about the kids, and it's about the coaching staff. I'm just a small part of this.
No, you're not small.
That's the way I approach it. I'm a small part of this. I mean, we give them a plan, the kids execute it. They believe in each other, they believe in us, we believe in them, and there's such a mutual respect and love within this team. And I hate to walk away from them, so I'm going to come back. Like I said, I always take it year by year, but I'll come back next year.
All right. That's wonderful news for all of us.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Lodwick. You were thinking about not coming back?
Well, it's kind of tough to top this.
What are you, Bill Parcells?
I mean, no, I'll tell you, in '90 when I thought I was going to give it up and I was burnt out, and the '90 team was a great team.
You almost made it.
And we almost made it.
Yep.
I just felt something like this. And you know what's funny? It wasn't even the state champion. Just being the #1 team in the section.
Right, that was
I
enough.
always felt this was going to elude us. You know, the coaching staff worked so hard. Paul Paradiso, Jim Costello, Jim Deans, John Walsh, Peter Dubizel. They worked so hard. And it was always eluding us. And it was eluding the players. I mean, we've had some great players come through here. Rocco DeAndrea, Anthony DeAndrea, Tommy Lopez, Andy Shine. This is about everybody that's been here since I've been here. And it got very frustrating. And I always thought this was going to elude us. So when Danny Boylan and Kenny Keegan and Anthony DeAndrea really convinced me with a couple other players to come back in that '91 season, and we went 4-4, I vowed that I wouldn't go out as a loser, on a losing note. And we went to the bowl against Portchester 7-2. Now we're state champs. Now, the only thing left to do is get fired, have a losing season and get fired.
That's very true.
You can't top this.
Yeah.
But,
Maybe.
you know, the ones that are coming back, I mean, for the ones that are graduating, I love them, I'm going to miss them. For the ones that are coming back, I love them, and I'll get to see them again. Ari Leach, Matt Storms, Robbie Anderson, Donnie Weiss, Adam Lodwick, all these guys coming back. They're a great bunch of guys, you know, and and I would miss them. So I'm gonna give them one more shot. They better promise me we'll win a bowl. I'm not promising state championship, but let's promise we get to a bowl.
Okay, hey, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us, giving us your time.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having my sons.
Hey, no problem, Paul and Anthony. Thank you, too. And listen, from everybody from Yorktown and everybody at Cablevision, everybody at the North County News, which I know a lot of the guys, from LNA Radio, which I do a radio show on Friday nights, and for everyone who's followed you. I think I speak for everyone. And of course, we had all the callers, you know, the 3 callers that called up and probably much more want to make sentiment. Thank you for a great run. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Like I said, this is about us, not about me, but about us. And it's my pleasure. This is a labor of love. This is a labor of love. I love football. I love young men, getting them on the right track and doing the right thing and you know, doing good in school and on the athletic field. So this is a labor of love. This pleasure's been all mine. I mean, I'll tell you, I've enjoyed it.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks,
Thank
Anthony.
you.
And thanks, Paul. We will go now to the big one. Now, what we have set up here, I want to explain. Carl Begano did a great job along with Jay Ginsberg. They work here at Cablevision. Also like to thank Bernie downtown there, you know, down south in Harrison. And, of course, Emily Spaulding. They set up a really great situation out in the front. And let's go to that shot. Let's go to the shot quick, and then we'll go to Tom. There's Tom Regone. Now, he is out at the out in the front there. This is our little, we got guys running around in the background there, Tom. We set up a nice pizza set up out there, and all the guys are hanging outside. So let me go to Tom. Tom, now you were at the game, did not have a chance. I had a wedding. I know I took a lot of abuse from the guys. But tell me a little bit about the game. Tell the audience, introduce yourself, and then we'll bring some more guys in here. This is Tom Regone.
First of all, abuse well-deserved, James.
Yeah,
You should have been at the game. Now, was it a great wedding?
yeah,
Jim?
go back into the other room. Or if you
Okay, well, Jim, can you hear me?
Great, all right.
I guess not. Well, I tell you, Jim, it was a great game. Great 16 hours. The bus ride was long. It was about 6 hours each way. Our bus driver got lost in Syracuse.
Here, put
went to the wrong dome.
right here.
But it was an interesting game. The interesting thing about the game was, right off the bat, Chittenango won the toss, came out, drove the whole length of the field, and at the 29-yard line, pass was intercepted by Matt Storms. And I thought that was the key turning point of the game, at least in the first half. It stopped that momentum that Chittenango was seen to be building up. They have a great running back in Rusty Dean, and they were running the ball pretty effectively. And they had 2 key early third down conversions. One, a 19-yard pass that set up a couple plays beforehand, the interception. And I think the momentum turned there. Yorktown had a 10-0 halftime lead. And then another key, I thought, they punched it in to start the second half. So it was 17-0. Chittenango comes back, scores 2 touchdowns. They missed the extra point, and in the process, Chittenango had to use an onside kick, and Yorktown was able to run the ball and drive it back in for the final touchdown and make it 23-13. Just an outstanding job. And really, I think you saw the quintessential Yorktown Cornhusker team. They executed perfectly.
Okay, we're back. Hey, it's live, all right? My name is Jim Campion. You are watching the Sports Club. We're on every week from 7 to 8. As you know, we usually talk national sports. I want to announce to all my fans, first of all, this is going to air again. I will try to announce. I'll have Carl tell me when this is going to air again. This way, all the people who are on the show and parents, if you haven't taped it, you want to tape it, it'll be airing a couple of more times. So just for those people who are watching it, and it's not Wednesday night, don't call these numbers. If it is Wednesday, give us a call. We're talking Yorktown football. As I said, we're usually on 7 to 8. We talk national sports and whatnot. But this has been such a great story, and thanks to James Bumper Roberson and Vinny DeAndrea, friends of the show, have been calling all along. And Phil, of course, a couple other guys who call. You know, they have got interested. We adopted, as you know. Back, I don't know when it was. I think it was back in October or something, before the Ossining game. We adopted the Yorktown Cornhuskers as the official team of the sports club. So we should, if Mr. Sanavica was talking about being superstitious and everything, and we have some, you know, we have to get some accolade as well, because once we jumped on the bandwagon, they were unstoppable. So we are congratulating the 1993 Class B state champions, the very firsts, the Yorktown Cornhuskers. We have a couple of the Cornhuskers here, both of them MVPs on your left. Oh, first of all, there's the entire team. All right, guys, we'll get back to those guys in a moment. They're being very patient. Ari Leach is on your right. Shane McCutcheon's on your left. Ari is a running back and defensive lineman, am I right? And you're a tackle offensively and defensively. Is that right, Shane? Mm-hmm. And you guys both MVPs of the state championship. Now, Ari, you first. You haven't started all season. In fact, you came in, I believe, when Don Weiss got injured or somebody. It might have been Mike Myers. I think it was Mike Myers. And you had a great game. What was that, 180 something against Brewster? And that was the game that you guys, is that the one you won? The one that you guys came back and won?
Yeah, we came back from that game.
After you lost, I think, what, 6-3 or whatever it is, that real close game. Tell me about what it's like to be all season just backing up, you know, doing the things defensively and everything. Here you are, getting big minutes in bowl games. I said I watch you guys from the sidelines. Every time I watch you guys, everyone had a chance to play. How is it like in the state championship, running around doing big things for your coach, as he mentioned at the beginning of the show?
Well, it felt kind of great because, you know, I as all season, you know, I backed up Mike Myers. He's a great running back. I didn't mind it. You know, I just did my part. Getting at the end of the game, I was fine with that. But then to get in at the States, it was great to help out my team like that. I felt really great about it.
Did you have the great feeling that Coach Sanavica had about you, about how you guys might have get stubbed, for, or I should say snubbed, for not getting picked for, particular awards, individual awards, and you went out and proved on the field as a team you were the best?
Yeah, I felt good about that. I mean, they shouldn't have already selected the state players already.
Right.
And that, like Rusty Dean. I mean, sure, he's a good running back and everything, but they should have waited till after the game. I think we have good players on our team who should have got states at least.
Sure.
Like Don Weiss and Bump. I think he should have got it.
Sure, James, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
they're great players.
And I want to mention also that, watching these guys play, and Tom had mentioned it many times too, a very, very well-oiled team. They played well together, especially in the big games. And a huge game, of course, was the game where they were behind by 2 touchdowns early against Gorton in the bowl game, the Class B bowl game. And then they were down by a touchdown with about 4 minutes left and came back. Great effort, not only offensively but defensively. And talking about the defense, Shane, you're the first representative of the defense, the best defense in Class B all year. A lot of pride that went into that program. You guys thought of yourselves. Now, I know a lot of guys play offensively and defensively. But, when you think about defense, was this something you guys always built all year and saying, we're going to go in and they're not going to score that much, and it starts to build a lot of pride in the defense this year?
Definitely. Coach, he loves to base our team on defense. He likes to make the relationship with the Huskers and defense. So we wanted to, just keep the tradition of Husker defense and not allow that many points. So we worked hard, and I think we got the job done. So
certainly did. Now, I think about when you guys played 3 of your playoff games, the bowl game and the 2 playoff games. You played in about 30-degree weather. Then you go into the dome. It's 70 degrees. There's 9,000 whatever people. The biggest game of your life. And Mike Myers, I guess, was hyperventilating. He was just so psyched up. I've seen him too. In regular games he gets crazy. But what was it like for you guys with all the equipment and everything? I mean, to go into that dome, what was the feeling?
It was great. It's something we never imagined in the beginning of the season, and it was just a dream come true. And it was just, we loved every minute of it. It was just an experience that not many people have a chance to have, and we just felt so lucky that we had the opportunity to be in the dome.
Sure. And Ari, your feelings when you walked out onto the field?
It's the greatest feeling I've ever had so far. But the funniest thing is, as soon as the game started, I was playing defense and everything. I'm on kickoff. I was dying. You were dying from the heat? Yeah, it was so hot in there. It was the funniest thing. Because I was talking to other players on the team, like bumping everybody. It's like, yeah, we're dying. It's funny. You're not going to make it to the second half, right? I didn't think we would. We made it, though. It was great. It's funny, because players always talk about in the NFL about playing in the dome. You have dome teams, you got outside teams like Houston and New Orleans, they can't win outside. Now you know the whole dome thing. Yeah, now before we go to any more questions with these guys, we have 2 calls. I want to make sure, Jen, let me know who's on the line and if they are here to talk to these 2 gentlemen specifically. So, Sean, 5313, we have Sean. Sean, welcome to the Sports Club.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm good.
You have a question for these 2 gentlemen or accolade or anything you want to throw out?
I got a couple things. One, Ari, great job. Shane, great job. Congratulations on the MVP. Sorry I couldn't be really late. And for all the newspaper people, Ari is spelled A-R-E-Y. The Y in it.
Have they been spelling it wrong?
Yeah.
Well, I got to get on Skip Perlman for that.
Everyone does it.
Go ahead.
That's all, and congratulations to the rest team, even though I'm on it.
Thanks, Sean.
You're on another team, Sean?
I was on this team, and but I was supposed to be there, but I got out of practice late for wrestling.
Okay. All right. Well, Sean, good luck with the wrestling and everything. Thanks a lot for your sentiments. There goes Sean. Who's up next? Anybody else up next for these 2 gentlemen? No. Okay. Let me ask a final question before I let you guys go. What's this going to mean years from now when there's no way to tell, But first of all, tell me, both of you are juniors, so you'll be coming back?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior. So let me ask you first. What's this going to mean to you? Your last season, are you going to go on and try to play other sports this year and then in college? What's your plans and what's this going to mean to you for, probably for the rest of your life?
Well, I hope to play college and football in college, but I mean, this will be something we remember for the rest of our lives because we might never have another opportunity to do this again. So, I mean, I'll remember for the rest of my life. It's just that much of an impact on me.
And Ari, you're a junior, so you'll be coming back next season, probably getting the ball a lot more from Coach Stanovic. What's this going to mean to you, think, down the line?
Well, after this season, it was the greatest feeling I ever had. I'd like to feel it again, so I'm going to work as hard as I can next year. And as long as we can get as far as possible, we do the best we can. And if we don't make another state, it'll be great. I'll have this feeling for the rest of my life.
Okay, gentlemen, congratulations.
Thanks.
And as I said to Coach Stanovic, thanks a lot for letting us here at the Sports Club and at the paper and everybody to be part of the experience of winning with you guys. It's been a lot of fun. So once again, that's Shane McCutcheon. He was the MVP of the defense. And Ari Leach, off the bench, great job running the ball, and he didn't even pass out, so he was able to keep his breath and win the offensive MVP. The show is called The Sports Club. My name is Jim Campion. We are talking tonight about the Yorktown Cornhuskers as they are the first Class B state champions up in Syracuse last Saturday night. Now, I believe Tom Ragone, does he? Tom Ragone has some people with him, and he's back in the big room. Let's go to him. Thomas?
All right, James, I'm with a couple of fine gentlemen here. To my right, of course, the viewers will know. Rob Dorr, defensive back. Great effort by Robin. To my right is, to my left, I should say, is Mike Nicolosi, defensive lineman. And Rob, I want to ask you first. Look at the camera. It's all right. Don't be shy.
Move those tapes so I
Listen,
can see the clock.
let me ask you about the keys of the game.
Right there.
Now, my key to the game, the turning point I thought was when the interception by Storms. What did you think was? Did you feel a change of emotions right there, or a sense that we dodged a big bullet right here, and this could be a big break for us?
Yeah, I think it was a big play by Matt. I mean, it turned the whole momentum over of the game, and it was still early when it happened. So I think it was a very big part of the game.
And Mike, how about the onside kick? They just scored to make it 17-13, and they missed the crucial extra point right there. You breathe that sigh of relief, and you guys obviously punched it in from there. You got it at the 50 and then took it in from there.
Yeah, we put it on our hands team. Mike DeVecchio came up big, getting the onside kick. Then our offense just came in, did the job, went down and scored.
All right, now listen. Good job, Mike. Now listen. A lasting memory from this season. Maybe it was from this game. Maybe it was from another game. Maybe something not even related to a game. Maybe preseason. A lasting memory from this season, Rob.
A lasting memory, I think the Gorton game, the last tackle of the Gorton game. Just knowing that it was all over and we won, it was unbelievable. I think it was even better than the state championship. Just like knowing that we beat Gorton and that last tackle to such a big game. So I think it was unbelievable.
And you, Mike?
Well, I think at the end of the game, after we won the states, for us seniors, we have no more football left. It was just great going out with the win.
All right, Jim, you heard it. Now back to you, my friend.
Okay, we're back. This is the Hey, take it easy, huh? It's live television, as I said. Again, I'm trying to get my earpiece working, but it just doesn't seem to be doing the job. Thanks a lot, Tom, and thanks a lot to the two players there. It's interesting. As we were following Yorktown going all year long, and we, jokingly, but not really jokingly, we adopted them as our official team here at the Sports Club. You don't really think so much about each particular game, but when you look at it in retrospect, about what it takes, and Coach Stanovic talked about it at the top of the show, what it takes to win game after game, week after week, when if you lose 2 games, one was bad enough, but they went back and they were able to avenge it with Brewster. To lose 2 games, you're out of it, and then to go on a playoff run, which has never been done before, win a big game against Gorton in the bowl game, and then, of course, having to go on a playoff run, it's very, very tough. So what these guys achieved is not just a state championship, as Yorktown has done many times in lacrosse and other things. It's even tougher in football, especially when it's never been done before. So just to give you really a perspective on what these gentlemen achieved this year. Class B, 1993 Class B state champions, Yorktown Cornhuskers. Now, to my right, and I want to introduce, on your left will be John Bernardi. He is a linebacker as well as a halfback. And also, on your right, Rob Anderson, linebacker and halfback. These guys want to talk about linebacking, I guess, and Rob said, we're linebackers. Okay, so let's talk about that first. I want to say, Rob, great running in a couple of the games. I didn't get a chance to see you guys all year long, but every time he had the ball, I was like, give it to number 5, right? Give it to number 5, number 3. One single digit. It was good enough for me. Tell me, Rob, what it was like. Give me an indication of what it was like for you in the game itself. To go out on the field, like the other guys said. the first feelings that went through your head in the biggest game, probably of your life, in athletics.
Yeah, like after the game, before the game, I was even in shock before I even got the game started. Just walking out there, seeing the big crowd, hearing the roar and everything like that, and just the whole excitement of the Carrier Dome, which is unbelievable.
Yeah. So did you get even more excited as you went along in the game? In other words, because Mike had the problem with breathing. I mean, that's normal because you guys are playing in a huge game indoors. As I said, a lot of different things going through your mind. But what you had said to me earlier, that you don't even think about the crowd as much.
Yeah.
You just at the
right.
thing.
As soon as you walk out, you hear the crowd, you hear the announcers and everything like that. But once the game gets underway, you focus on football, you focus on what you got to do. But while the game was going, all you really heard was just a lot of yelling and screaming. But you really didn't hear anything except for Coach yelling and screaming outside.
I think it could be louder than 9,000 people.
Yeah, but you always hear Coach's voice.
Tell me, what is John? Tell me, what is your job on the defense? Because throughout the 3 or 4 games that I saw you guys play, I noticed 27 always seemed to be in on the run blitzes, plugging up the holes when there was a big run team, back on the pass coverage. Were you kind of like the, kind of the wild card guy back there? Were you a kind of guy who made things happen when the defensive line itself did? Explain a little bit of your job and his as well.
Well, these past couple of teams that we've played had really good running backs.
Right.
So we just tried to, give the offensive line different looks, with stunt in different ways.
Right.
Just throw them off guard, so we can make big plays happen. So our first objective was to take away the run, and then get lucky with the pass. Maybe pick off a couple. So we just got our job done. Hopefully, stopping Rusty Deans. And then Hudson on Gorton. I don't know. So
it's whatever a particular game presented. That your job changed with every game.
Yeah, exactly.
Which shows you also what Coach Stanovic and the staff has done with you guys. Great preparation for every game.
Exactly.
Now, tell me both you guys. I asked everybody, what the game would mean to them. But what about the season? Was there a particular time, like I asked Coach Stanovic, is there any particular game in the season where you guys felt that you had the ability to not only get to the bowl game, which he said that was your goal, but to go farther, and you knew in the back. Was there any particular game? I'll start with you, John.
Well, Coach said that if we got past Gorton for the section game, that
best
he
team
would
to play.
Yeah. He said that he assure us a win, the next couple of games.
Right.
We didn't know what the state game was going to be like, but Saugerties, whoever Saugerties played, he said that we could beat them. So we were pretty confident after we got past Gorton that, that we'd be all right for a little while at least.
Yeah, and I want to say also, it's interesting, Coach Stanovic is also just outside the studio now. I saw him before the Saugerties game. I said, Coach, after that, he's like, there's no Gorton, Jim. So it was the indication that he knew what you guys could do. Now, you tell me, what was the moment for you throughout the season that was signifying that you guys had what it took to be state champs?
About 2 seconds after that overtime went over Gordon.
Right after that?
2 seconds.
You guys must have felt like blessed somehow in a way. Almost like it was a destiny thing. And I know this is used a lot in sports, but that game was one of the greatest games I had ever seen from the standpoint of not only because you guys won and it went down to an overtime type of 4-down play, but also because it had all the elements of a great game. It had turnovers. It had you guys were down. You came back. It had passes. It had, big defensive plays, big offensive plays. So after a game like that, you probably feel like you're blessed, I would imagine. All right. Let's go to the phones because we might have a couple of calls for these gentlemen as well. Jen, you let me know if anybody's waiting on the line. 5313 brings us Heather. Heather, welcome to the Sports Club.
Hi.
How are you? Anything to say to our 2 gentlemen on the stand right now?
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate the entire team on the win on Saturday. They all had an excellent season. And they're just a really great bunch of guys who deserve the best. So.
Hey, listen, throw the guys up in the other room if you got a shot of them. Throw them up because anybody. Oh, we do not have another shot. Okay, fair enough. I just wanted. All right, thanks a lot for. Oh, we do. Okay, there they are. So you can say it again. Go ahead.
Hey, you guys, you're the best. You deserve it all.
All right, thanks a lot for giving us a call. And that's always the best part of doing the show. I usually spend this show yelling and screaming at people about the Jets don't pass enough. Or usually it's the Giants, or the Knicks don't have enough, all this other stuff. But, it's interesting when you get this accolades coming in and work with the local guys. All right, let's go to another call. 4948, I guess, is next. And who's up next? Paul, 4948. Paul, welcome to the Sports Club.
Hi, how's it going? I'd just like to wish John and Rob and the rest of the team congratulations on winning the state championship. And I just have one question to describe. I haven't had a chance to John's my brother, and I really haven't had a chance to talk too much about the game. And I was wondering if you could tell me a little about his tackle he made in the backfield in the fourth quarter when he held, I think it was Rusty Dean for a loss of 2 yards?
Wasn't Rusty. I think it was a split and reverse or something. I don't know. My guard just led me right to the ball, and I was there. Rob was there too. I sort of pushed him out of the way and made the tackle. But you know, you got to do what you got to do.
All right, Paul. Thanks a lot for doing.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Take care. There goes Paul. We'll take one more phone call for these guys, and then we'll let them go. We have to go back to the big room and get time going. We do not have another call. All right. Final comments for you guys. Anybody you'd like to thank? Anything you'd like to say in closing before you head out?
Yeah, I just want to thank the coaches for a great job all season. You know, they've believed in us from step one. You know, they've given us the game plan. You know, they've given us the hope and everything like that. And our parents just for standing behind us, even through all them hot months through August and everything like that. You know, so I want to thank my mom and my dad. You know, for standing by me the whole entire way.
Okay.
So
John?
Like Rob said, you know, I'd just like to thank the coaches. You know, they had us so well prepared. And I'd also, you know, just like to thank the whole, you know, junior and sophomore class, you know, for making, you know, my senior year, you know, such a memorable season. That I hope that, you know, when they're seniors, that the underclassmen help them out.
Okay, great. Thanks. John Bernardi, number 27, and of course, number 3. Have I right this time? Rob, John has. Hey, listen. Happy birthday. I almost forgot that. It's your birthday. I didn't get you right. I'm sorry, Rob Anderson. Thanks a lot, Rob and John, for joining us. You are watching the Sports Club. This is a tribute to the Yorktown Cornhuskers, who are Class B state champions, the very first state championship this past week at the Carrier Dome up in Syracuse. Now, Tom Ragone's on the big floor. He's got some more guests. Let's go to him.
Yeah, it's a very big floor, James. Speaking of the coaches, I have a couple on either side of me. I have Coach Paul Paradiso, and was it Paradiso? Paradiso. I just want to make sure I pronounce that correct. And Coach Jim Deems. And Coach Paradiso, I want to ask you, John Bernardi mentioned the fact that you guys had them very well prepared. Did you use the fact that this is the first ever state championship this season as a motivation early on in the preseason in July when you guys were opening camp?
Well, we told them that it was the first time that they could be showcased in a state championship, and it would mean possible scholarships for some of them. But I thought all along from the beginning that we had the talent to go all the way this year. And the thing that we were missing, I think, the other years was speed in the backfield. And this year we had a lot of speed.
Yeah, a lot was made of the speed, especially in the game against Glens Falls, where it was a bigger team, and you guys seemed to run around them, not even over them or through them, run around them. So the speed definitely did come into play this year, especially in the postseason.
Well, I don't think we ran around them. If you look at the game film and you look at what Shane McCutcheon and the inside people did, Phil Senimbrino, Matt Panzi, AJ, and Bumper did, we ran wherever we wanted. They weren't sound defensively. They gave us openings, and we utilized those openings. We ran as much inside as we did outside. In fact, when we were calling the game plan, it was more like counter-punching, go one place, then go the other place. We went inside. When they moved their people, we went outside.
And Coach Deems, you know, as we talked about, and I mentioned in my opening, you guys execute better than any high school team I think I've ever seen in the last 4 or 5 seasons watching high school ball. And it takes 2 elements to execute. It takes a great game plan and the players to carry it out.
Well, that's all Coach Sandovica and Coach Paradiso. They have a tremendous system that I was lucky enough to join a few years ago when most of these players did. I coached some of them as freshmen and then again as JV players. We run the same system all the way through. They insist on us doing all the same things, and basically we just put forth what they, you know, taught me and John Walsh, who was a coach with me on JV, to do. We just put their system through, and that's it.
You are the head coach of the JV team. Some kids that we can be looking for in the next 2 or 3 years?
Well, some of them were up already for the playoffs. They brought up one of our fullbacks, Pete Cariello, who was a freshman. On the line, we had Brendan Tully came up, tight end Elio Mazzella, guard Mike Rella, and there's someone I'm forgetting, and I'm going to feel bad about this. And Matt Contino, who was a halfback. They all got, and Matt Coglione, who was our quarterback, who will probably have a shot at being quarterback next year, I would imagine.
All right. You heard it from the coaches. Now back to you, Jim.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. You know, I must apologize. I cannot hear what the gentleman is saying in the other room, but you can't do it without coaches. And certainly coaches can't do it without their wives. And we have a special guest quickly. We did not have her on the agenda, but she's sitting here next to the winning quarterback, Brett Selca, and she is Debbie Sanovica. And Debbie, thanks a lot for joining us. I know you didn't want to be on, And I know your husband practically pushed you into the chair,
Yes,
but
he did.
anything you want to say, not only to your husband, but the whole staff and the kids, I know you were excited all year. You know, it was a great run by the kids. And it must be good. It was great for me. I don't know anybody until about 3 weeks ago. And here you are, you know, with your husband and all the players, and you got to know them over the time. Anything you'd like to say for that?
Well, I'd like to congratulate the whole team. They've been great. They've made my house very happy all fall. I've had a great house, happy home, a happy husband, happy children. And I'd like to congratulate my husband because I just found out he won Section 1 Coach of the Year award.
Hey, all right.
Tonight.
You win Coach's Wife of the Year.
That's right. And your coach's wife. Hey, congratulations. Hey, you know, I should ask you about this whole shorts thing with the shorts and the socks. And I mean, how do you figure all this stuff out? I mean, was there an agenda before every
One
game?
outfit.
One outfit. Now,
One pair of gloves, one jacket,
Okay.
one T-shirt,
All right.
one pair of shorts, and one pair of coaching shoes, and
Okay.
one pair of socks.
Okay, so the underwear
All
is
get washed.
okay.
Right. All get washed on Sunday and put away.
So your underwear is optional, though. Undershirt, underwear, that's optional. Okay, good. So after a while, you must have got into this whole, procedure after a while.
Definitely.
Okay, well,
It was
thanks a lot.
fun.
Thanks a lot for being a quick walk-on guest. I kind of feel like you remember when Johnny Carson used to walk on Letterman, so we were always excited for that. Thanks a lot, Ms. Sanavica. And I guess thank you for doing a great job keeping Coach Sanavica in good shape. All right, now, and not always thinking about football all the time. Maybe because a beautiful family. Okay, now joining us, and AJ, you can come on in. Don't worry about it. You walk in front of the camera. We're very formal here on the Sports Club. By the way, you are watching the Sports Club. My name is Jim Campion. We are live, and we are talking about Yorktown football. They are, of course, the Class B state champions for 1993. The very first of those. On your left, Mr. Brett Selca. He is the quarterback, a lefty. Very much, and looking very much like Mr. Stabler from years past with that helmet on. And the guy that has to feel his cold hands on night games, A.J. Avedissian. Am I correct about that pronunciation? Avedissian. Okay, Avedissian. Okay, we get that right. All right, A.J., thanks a lot for joining us. Brett, thanks a lot. Hey, listen, also, thanks a lot for a great run, all you guys. Brett wanted everybody to know, after the Saugerties game, well, no, it was the game up in Kingston. He told me, he taught me on the sidelines, he wanted everyone to know, please defend the passing game. So now he's on the program, he can defend it. 4 passes in 2 games and blowouts both. Pretty good running game, pretty good defense, eh, Brett?
Yeah, I don't need to defend it anymore. You know, we're state champs. It really doesn't matter anymore. I don't care if we threw 0 passes all season.
That's
You
right.
know, we got it done.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting, too. Brett has to take full credit, I believe, not only the defense, but a good job. The Gorton game. You're down 14-0. Your running game, it's nice, but you got to throw the ball once in a while, especially that last 4 minutes. You're down 28-21. You got to get it done. And then, of course, a great memory for me, and I wrote about it in the North County News, you putting your shoulder down, getting in the end zone for the winning touchdown. So the Gorton game was a shining moment for you, would you say?
You know, when I lowered my shoulder into that guy, I'll tell you, I surprised myself. I mean, I didn't know I had it in me. He was second down anyway. We're probably going to put it in, but, you know, it felt really good.
Yeah, and it must have felt great also being a quarterback, being able to bring your team back. When you were in the huddle, did you guys all feel in that game, even though you were down 14-0, and a lot of breaks went against you, and then 28-21, did it feel like, since you were the leader in the huddle there, did it feel like the guys were right behind you all the way?
Oh, yeah, you know, we knew it was, it could have been our last game of the season. You know, we knew it was on the line, so, you know, we knew it had to be done, and we did it.
Now, AJ, tell me, I asked you, I think, once on the phone, but I'll ask you now on the program, how cold does this man's hands? I mean, it's freezing out, you know, it's 20 below, you guys are playing a big game, and here comes his hands underneath, you know, and you have to keep your poise and snap the ball. I mean, you know, it must be rough.
Well, during the game, you don't even notice that. You just look
Once
like
the
the
game
guys in
starts.
front of you.
Sure. Now, you guys get all the credit from everybody in the papers, and all the running backs come on and say the offensive line did a great job. And you're talking about James and Phil, I'll have them on later as well. Talk about the offensive line. I mean, being the center, you kind of, if people talk about the Brett and the quarterback being the captain, but you get the ball first. Unless it gets from you to him, no play starts. Offensive line and your coaches, everybody, a great year running the football. When you only throw 4 passes in 2 games, in 2 big games, you guys must be doing something right up front.
Well, Coach Paradiso deserves all the credit for that. I mean, he's the one who, taught us all our techniques, and
right.
We just went out there and, basically overpowered everybody out there. And we didn't have to throw because Brett's more of a running back than a quarterback anyway.
Yeah, and it's got that option play where you pick up a key third down. Yeah, I was wondering too is that you look at these games the way they progressed, and you guys were ahead big in a couple of them. You were 17-0 at the Dome, right? When you get to that far ahead, and you don't play defense either, Brett, so you have to stand on the sidelines. I mean, does it get to the point where you let down? I mean, it's a big game, the Syracuse game, but was there a moment in any of the games leading up to that where you guys felt, God, we're I mean, the first drive, three plays were right down the field. Was there any point in that, Brett? You could answer that. You know, did you guys feel overconfident? Was an overconfidence that ever hit you? You always were very focused, as Coach Janovic said at the beginning of the show.
Well, you know, I think every time we huddle up, we feel we could score. You know, it's a matter of executing.
Right.
You know, I mean, we feel confident that we can put it in every time we touch the ball. You know, we just got to cut down on the mistakes.
Yeah, I was dying for that reverse. I never got a reverse all year. I was calling for it on the show, but I was told by many of the players there was no way that was coming. And AJ, tell me though about that great. You guys ran 3 great running plays. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw you had one that was kind of looked much like a Redskin play where the tackles pulled. James is always out front, a great looking sweep. You ran that with Donnie Weiss and John and those guys. And then you had other plays like misdirection plays where one guy would go the other way and hand off. When plays like that are working, do you guys feel like a machine out there, like nothing can go wrong? Because it seemed like that for a couple of those games.
Well, before every play, I think we're a machine. I mean, everybody knows what they're doing, and everybody just goes out there and gets it done. You get Bumper and Phil out in that corner, and there's no one stopping you.
Yeah.
You get those 2 guys running out in front, and we're set.
Yeah, we said many times we saw Phil and Bumper blocking cornerbacks 20 yards downfield after the whistle was blown. So these guys know what they're doing. I got a quick note here. Mr. Anderson, Rob's dad, called, and he wanted to know if there's any coaches or players being courted by colleges. Any of you guys hear anything from colleges for anything yet?
Talk to Bumper.
James is the man. Well, I'll have him on later. All right, guys, we have a couple of calls. We have one call. Can we take it for one of the or both of these gentlemen? John is calling on 5313. John, welcome to the Sports Club.
Hi, this is John Sedembrino calling.
Hi, Mr. Sedembrino. This is Phil's dad.
That's for sure.
How are you?
Love it.
How are you?
Good. I just want to congratulate the coaches and the team for what they've accomplished, and they've made us all very, very proud parents. I do want to mention, though, that this whole team, if I'm not mistaken, came up through the ranks from the YAC. And the YAC, the Yorktown Athletic Club, deserves a lot of credit for preparing these young men for what they've accomplished on Saturday and all year. We, in Yorktown, as parents, we should continue this tradition by having our younger boys come up through the YAC and give them the support that they require. I want to give a special thanks to Tony DeAndrea for all he's done for the team when they were at the YAC and giving them the fundamentals that they required. We've been watching these kids for years, Robbie and Phil and Robbie D and Robbie A and Bumper and all the kids. I've watched them when they were 10 and 12 and 15 years old come up through the ranks, and I can only say one thing, that Saturday night when that scoreboard went up and we were the State B championships, the parents in the crowd, our hearts and our spirits were just as high as theirs. And I only want to say one last thing is for the young men to stay focused, to set your goals in life, as Coach Sanovica said, and you'll continue to be successful.
Mr. Sedembrino, it couldn't have been said any better. Very eloquently stated, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Very well done. Now we'll take one more call for Brett. Do we have another call on the line? Eric on 4948. So let's take that. Eric, welcome to the Sports Club.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? How you doing? What's up? What's up? I just want to congratulate you guys. All right, I want to say, Brett, congratulations on getting all section. I want to say, AJ, you were robbed. You should have had that. And I just want to congratulate you again.
We love you anyway, eh?
All right? Hello? I didn't hear you. How you doing?
How many guys are on this phone? Is this like a conference call? You guys have you're getting great accolades. And Brett, you won all sections.
Having a party over here. We love these guys. We love them.
All right, we'll let you guys go so you can listen to the answer. It's hard to hear over your cheering. Good job out there. Yes, go ahead, Brett.
The fumbled snap in the dome. That was AJ's fault.
That was not my fault.
I said
that was not my fault.
The play was on set.
AJ
ready. Snapped on ready.
Red alert's
Simple
on.
as that.
Red alert's always on ready.
But when I say it's on set.
Well, I couldn't hear the crowd, you know.
No. Anyway, AJ's the best center I ever had. You know, one of the only centers I ever had.
All right, guys. Now you're both seniors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You gotta let us know what your plans are. Any final things you want to say, Brett? You guys.
I haven't decided what I'm gonna do.
You're gonna play basketball, right? You're gonna play basketball.
This year I'm playing basketball. You know, a little weak, but we're gonna try to earn some respect back for the basketball program.
Okay, so you can build that up, right?
Yeah.
You got that lefty jumper going. Great job. Thanks a lot. Congratulations, Brett. And AJ, anything final comments you want to say?
I just want to say it was a great season. You know, couldn't have gone out any better than this. And
Okay.
thanks to all the coaches for coaching us.
Thank you, coaches.
All right.
Great job.
And thanks a lot for Mr. Santabrio's sentiments. Brett Selca, thanks a lot for the ride and for just watching you guys play. It was great. AJ Avadishian. Nice job by you. Snapping the ball. Can't do it without the center. All right, guys. You are watching the Sports Club. Let's send it back to Tom. He's in the big room. He's got some more people, I am hoping. Thomas.
Thank you, James. And as you know, behind every great man, there's great women, or so the saying goes. And with me are some of the women of the Yorktown Cornhusker football team, of course, the cheerleaders. And from my right to left, we have Monica, we have Laura, Julianne, and Tracy. And these, as I mentioned, some of the cheerleaders of the Cornhuskers. And let me tell you, I got to ride on the bus twice, both ways with these women. They certainly know how to party. Let's start with you guys over here. Some lasting memories from this season that you're going to take with you for the rest of your life, if any?
No. Yeah, I guess the win against Gorton. Yeah,
The win against Gorton. That seems to be the consensus answer. And just because it was the closest competition that the team had and the fact that they came back, or what was it?
Yeah, it was just the crowd was so hyper and we're all into the game.
All right, now let me ask you, ladies, is there anybody you want to say hello to, or? Okay.
Whoa. I want to just say hi to Mrs. Perez and Mrs. Anderson and Angela because they stuck by us through the whole season, and we love them. And we want to thank Coach Deans for sticking up for us all the time. And who else? Oh, and Coach Lafredo and our other cheerleaders. Where they are, we don't know. But we thank them, too.
Now, Coach Lafredo would be the one that was barking all the orders on the bus, right? Okay. All right, we heard it from the cheerleaders, Jim. Now back to you.
Tom gets all the great jobs. Okay, thanks a lot, Thomas. Once again, we'd like to thank the cheerleaders because we rode with them all the way up to the Kingston game, and Tom, I guess, rode with them also to the championship game. And I want to say they have very nice singing voices. I was unable to sleep on the way home, but at least they sang some nice tunes on the radio. Now, on my right, you can't win these things without Coach. We got Coach down and Thicker on. We had a couple other coaches on with Tom. On your left, it's Coach John Walsh. He's defensive back coach. And on his right, Jim Costello, the running back coach and linebacker coach. Guys, welcome to the show. Thanks a lot for coming on. And again, thanks a lot for the ride, because this has been a load of fun. Tell me what was going through your guys' mind, because I'm sure this is the biggest game of your lives as well, even though you're older, probably coached and played as well. Mr. Costello, you tell me first, what was going through your mind when you guys went to got on the field in the Dome? And were you thinking, you probably hadn't too much time to think, you probably had to think about X's and O's, but what was going through your mind, something you could take from the game?
I think the thing that was going through my mind was whether or not I'd be able to get up to the top of the stadium alive.
Why, is there like a big, you have to walk up about 50 flights of stairs to get up there? Oh, you do?
No, what was going through our mind was the preparation for what we had to do for Coach Santavica and Coach Paradiso, and that we have to spot from the top and let them know what the other team is doing, whether it fits in with the game plan that we had decided upon, if there was any new offense or defensive plays they were using. And John Duprazel and myself do this every week, and this basically is what goes through our mind while we're doing it, besides warming up the youngsters before we go up there.
John, what was your thoughts? I had a chance to watch you a little bit. I was a fly on the wall for all you guys for the last couple of weeks. Before the Kingston game, you were walking around with the ball. It looked like the nervous energy was going through you. You looked like you wanted to play in the game. When you got up to the Dome, was there a lot of that same energy there? Or what were some of your thoughts when you got there?
Yeah, I always have that. I'm always pretty nervous. The thing that I worry about the most is, have we done everything? Have we prepared for everything? And are we going to be able to pick up everything right away? And I think, we usually do, and we're usually, always well prepared. And I worry about it anyway, but that's the thing I probably worry about the most.
Now let me ask you two gentlemen as well. Next year, the year after, what are your plans? What do you think? And not only that, what does this really mean? I mentioned to Coach Santavica about the program of building up Yorktown football and making it a viable, like a really big football school again, or for the first time, really indelible stamp. Your jobs that you guys did this year. Did you think about that at all, or can you give me any idea, or just respond to that?
Well, I think that it helps to firmly establish the program now. I think that it was going fine there, and then we ran into a little trouble there. We had a lot of our line and some of our backs knocked out early in the season, and that's when we went 4-4. And then I think it's a tribute to Coach Sandovica that we rebuilt the program, and that a state championship or a playoffs game like we have now will keep the ball players interested, gives you something to build for, and establish it as a first-class B program in the not only in the section but in the state. And I think this will help to continue the interest, because what's happened since last Saturday has been amazing as far as the response from the people in the town. The fact that we're all here tonight, all of this has to stimulate interest, and I think it is a great kickoff, if you want, for next year for our present juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, that now they realize what Coach Sandovica says can come true, and it has come true, and that they have the opportunity next year to do this.
Sure. And John, I guess I should ask you the A part of the question. Next year, and if you've been thinking about that, you tasted it, you know, the reality is, and as Coach Costello said, you guys did achieve it. So it can be done. Are you thinking anything about that next year, or some of the younger guys, what you're thinking about for next year?
No, I haven't thought about that at all. I'm going to take a vacation pretty soon. And to be honest, I really hasn't sunk in even yet. I know it's 4 days later, and I know what they all accomplished, you know, the other night is something, you know, very big and very special. And
Once again, great job.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. The name of the show is The Sports Club. My name is Jim Campion. We are live. We have numbers at the bottom of the screen. We'll get to the two calls we have waiting in a moment. But let's go out to the front. And all the guys who have had plenty of pizza and soda and been watching our show as it has progressed. As you know, we usually go from 7 to 8. But we're going to extend this one to 8:30. So we have a few more guests we want to bring on. The whole town's excited about Yorktown football again. They are state champs, Class B. Let's go to Thomas out front. Thomas.
All right, Jim, and I'm with a couple of members of the offensive line. To my left is Dan Scavino. He's the tight end, and Phil Settabrino is the offensive lineman. And Dan was just telling me he had 6 slices of pizza, so I guess we're going to make this quick in case he gets sick on us. But, Danny, you know, we talked, you called in last week, and we talked about the passing game of the team. And, of course, you know, especially in the Gordon game, you guys passed very well. But you really didn't have to over the last couple of weeks. Maybe you can relay that to the audience who's wondering where the passing game's been the last couple of weeks.
The last couple of weeks we haven't needed the passing game. Selca's got a great arm, and he get the job done if we need to go to the air. We have the receivers. We also have the running backs with the speed on the turf. The offensive line got the job done blocking, and they just ran it to him. I mean, Anderson, Brett had a great game. Myers, they all had a great game. We got it done. We won the New York State Championship.
And Phil, you know, I want to ask you, as a member of the offensive line and the running game, you seem to wear the last couple of teams you've played. You seem to wear them down physically. Do you get that feeling?
Yeah, especially against the bigger guys. We noticed it a little against Gorton, and then against Glen Falls, they seemed to just die out. You know, later in the game. I don't know if it was because of their size or whatever, but yeah, it seemed to happen a little. Not against Chittenango though. They seemed to hang in there until the end.
All right, Phil, lasting memory from this season? Maybe this game, maybe it was one of the other games?
I think everyone just summed it up by saying Gorton. Gorton was just the most incredible win I've ever experienced. I mean, it was just, I can't even explain it. It was just incredible. I mean, it'll be with me all my life.
All right, say hello to anybody.
I just want to say hi to my mom, my dad, and my little brother, Steve. You know, that's about it, really.
All right, Danny, anybody you want to say hello to out in television land?
First of all, I'd like to say that this was a really memorable season. All the way from July 1st when we were out at Black and Taco football camp. Coach Sandovica, Coach Paradiso, Coach Walsh, Coach Deans, they did a great job with us. And I'd like to say hi to Jess, Mr. and Miss Rella, and my mom and dad.
And there you have it, Jim. Now back to you.
What are you guys, too tired to stand up? I see we have the seat situation on. You got these football players. It's 4 days after the season's over, and they're sitting down already. Phil, Danny, thanks a lot for being callers to the show, and I hope you are in the future. Both those guys, good callers to the show, even when they're not playing football for Yorktown. But football in Yorktown is what we're talking about right now. The Class B state champions are here. They're in the studio. We are live. The name of the show is The Sports Club. My name is Jim Campion. We are on the, just to let all the people know who are tuning in that don't usually tune in, We're doing the show it's going to be our 4th year coming up in January, and we talk sports every week from 7 to 8 with you live. We go into Somers, we go into Bedford, Mount Kisco, everything else. And we also go with these two gentlemen. That was a quick shot. These gentlemen. Don Weiss is on your right. He is Mr. Everything, I've been told to announce him as. And Adam Lodewick, whose dad called earlier in the show, defensive player and as well as running back. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. And once again, congratulations. Hey, listen. Thank you very much. I'll ask you, Adam, since you haven't been on the show yet. We'll get to Don in a second. Must have been a great thrill all year long. I'm running out of questions to ask. I'm asking the same one. So is there anything that you can bring to the table here? Anything you remember from the last couple of months, last couple of weeks that would, maybe a story or something that gave you a feeling about this 1993 state champs?
Not much. We worked well as a team all year. And, me, Vinny, during the games, we talk a little smack to some of the other players.
Right.
Like that, that to me, to other people, that pisses them off. They don't like that. But to me, me and Vinny, that helps us out. That gets us psyched, when they talk back to us. And I think Ari did a great job at the end all year, containing. I think he had a sack in almost every game. Mm-hmm. And, just as a team, everything that we did, I think, excited us. Every big play, that brought us up another level. And when we won the state, that just brought us up to the top.
Sure. And Don, I guess, as the weeks progress and you practice, and Adam mentioned about the camaraderie, did you guys, we talk about this as well as pro teams, college teams, when there's a championship season and you go through so many things, do you become almost like brothers? Do you talk off the field? Do you guys share things? Is there ways that you become closer so at a key element of a game, it kicks in?
Definitely. I bring it up in the Brewster game because that was the first time we were ever down. I really wasn't sure if we were going to come back if we had what it.
You're down big at halftime.
Yeah, we were down 14 points or something like that. And I didn't know if we had it, but we did. We came through as a team, and it definitely shows. Everybody's friends. It's not like we were just thrown on the football field and became friends. Everybody's been friends for a long time, and, we're buddies.
And they will forever be indelibly marked as the 1993 and the very first state champs for Class B. So no matter what happens, they will always have a place in history together. And as Coach Stanovica says, maybe a 20-year anniversary is in order. Well, I'll see, and I'll probably be still on the air here to have it to broadcast. Let's go to the phones, as Jen is warning me. Jen, who's up next? 5313 brings us Danny. Danny, welcome to the Sports Club.
Hey, Jim, I want to congratulate Yorktown on their great win.
Welcome to the show, Dan.
And if it wasn't for Mr. Costello, who ate many of the hot dogs from our store, which gave him the strength to win that game, and John Walsh was sitting right while he was sitting next to you, who does eat our cold cuts also. But the way the Yorktown team is going is the same way the Jets are going. And I just wanted to say that and congratulate them all. They have heart, they have spirit, they were undersized and everything else, and it was a great win for them, and I'm very proud of Yorktown and very proud of the guys.
Yeah, and you were talking about PJ's Deli, right, in the Miranda Plaza in Putnam Valley?
Mr. Costello knows very well. We used to be in Yorktown. So, and John's mother still comes down to our store to get his turkey, so that's what keeps him going.
All right. Hey, Dan, go ahead. I'm sorry, Dan.
That's it.
All right, Dan, listen, we'll go back to the regular format next week. we got to talk about your Jets with Dan on the bandwagon. They are 5-0. Without him, they were 2-4. Dan, thanks a lot.
They're following the Jets. They're following the Yorktown High School right in the footsteps.
All right, fair enough.
They're going all the way.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Take care. The Raiders, who they take their uniforms after, are in the tank, though, unfortunately. 4948 is dealed up. I'm sure Tom was happy about that, and he'll have a chance to rebut a little later on. He's got more people out there. But let's go to 4948. Jen, who's up next? We do not have anybody. We do? We don't. 1 minute. Okay. Well, Kevin. All right. Well, I'm going to go to. All right, 5313. Kevin, is this you?
Hi, this is Sports Club.
Hi, yes. Oh, that's Mary. All right, we'll let Mary go. Kevin must be on 4948. We're rigging it. How are you? Yes, go ahead. You just did.
I had a question for Adam.
Go ahead, Adam. Question for Adam. Boy, it's the two-faced guy.
Adam, do you think all the smack talking you do on the field and all the showboating you do you think that intimidates your opponents? Because it sure as heck intimidated me.
I don't understand one word
Go
you
ahead,
said.
let's go back to the peanut gallery. Go ahead, guys.
Adam, do you think all the smack talking you do intimidates your opponents and all the showboating you do you think that intimidates your opponents? Because it sure as heck intimidated me.
Well,
All right, we'll let you go there. Is James working him with the ears there? I don't know. Is that like a puppet show? Go ahead.
I don't know if it intimidated them, but I think it got me psyched to like something I like to do, and it gets me excited. But I think Nick's all his intimidating came in this part of his face, right here.
Made me laugh. Adam talks a lot of junk, talks all my junk. It's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the type of person I am. It gets me psyched when I talk smack to the other players. And I think it brings them down to a different level, down low, and it brings me up top when they start talking back to me.
Kind of like a mind game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Adam, thanks a lot for joining us, and thanks a lot for a great season. Adam Lodewick on your left, Don Weiss, who was the North County News Player of the Month last month. A good job, and of course, both of them champions, as we know. Do not go to Tom, or do go to him. Go ahead. You can just talk. Talk. It's all right. Go to the phones. Do not go to the phones. I'll tell you what. Let's go to. Is Tom ready? Because we want to bring some more guys on. Is he ready? Check it. Okay, Tom's ready. Let's go to Tom. We want to get as many people on as we can. Tom's in the big room. Thomas, take it away.
Yes, James, a great Cablevision production once again here on Channel 34. Got a couple of defensive backs and a couple of Mikes with me right now. Mike Delvecchio and Mike Fraterola. And I said it right, Mike. And good job by the defense. And this year now, you guys had the 4 shutouts in the regular season, had one against Glens Falls in the regionals, or I should say in the semifinals. Was that a big deal for you guys throughout the whole season to make sure you got that shutout?
Yeah, I mean, the goal of the defense was to get the shutouts. We got it in 4 other games, and once we let up a little, we let up 8 points against Saugerties. Our goal was to get the other shutout and get our defense back where it should be. And once we got that, we felt more secure with the defense, more confident, and we were really psyched about that going into the next game.
When you get in a situation like the Saugerties game where you were up by a big score right off the bat, do you suffer a letdown defensively?
I think so. We didn't have all the starters in at that time, and we knew we were doing really well. As long as we got the win, that was okay. I mean, 8 points was not much.
No, it wasn't, especially when you guys put up 55. Now, Mike Delvecchio, also a defensive back. Couple of big plays made by the defense in the finals against Chittenango, especially the 2 interceptions. Were you expecting them to pass as much as they did? What did you expect from this Chittenango team when you were looking at the films and whatnot?
Well, I thought the Chittenango team was going to try to run all over us. I heard Rusty Dean had about Rusty Dean, whatever. I heard he had over 2,000 yards rushing this season. So I thought it was going to be tough going in, but I knew our linebackers, Bernardi Anderson, would fill the gaps, do the job. I knew our defensive line would do the job. Our defensive backs covered the pass well, and the times they did pass, they got a couple lucky breaks, diving catch touchdown towards the end. So I thought overall our defense did pretty good. They held Rusty Dean's down.
Yeah, Busty Dean is his sister, the dancer. Before I let you guys go, I want to ask you about any memories or anybody you want to say hello to tonight, or.
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, this season was really great because everyone came together to play. One thing, like Dan Scavino had great blocking this during the year, and one kid who came up, Elliot Mazzella, had a key punt in the Brewster game. I think everyone just pitched in this year, and just had my little brother James and my family.
Mike, anybody want to say hello to?
I just want to say one thing about you said a memory. I mean, a lot of guys bring up the Gordon game, and I thought the Gordon game was great. I thought the key play through the season was against Brewster the second time. We were down by 12 at halftime. The third quarter, about 3 plays in, we had to go with Ari Leach off the bench for Myers. Myers was hurt. About 3 plays in, Ari broke one for about 60 yards for a touchdown to take us to within 6. I thought that was the biggest play.
All right, gentlemen, you hear it here, right on the big floor. Now back to Busty Campion.
Thanks a lot, Tom. And, I'm over here. Okay, thanks a lot, Tom. What the heck happened? Somebody tell me. I don't know what's going on. It's live at 5. I'm over here now. Okay, I just want to say to Tom up front, we're going to do the last 15 minutes here, but I want to kick back about halfway through it. About 5 minutes left. I want to kick it to Tom so he can bring on anybody else who hasn't had a chance to be on so they could say their name and wave and thank whoever they want to thank. So round up everybody else who hasn't had a chance to come on, get them in a nice area, get rid of those chairs over there, and we'll go from that. Much too professional. Looks much too professional. The name of the show is The Sports Club. We have 15 minutes left. This is our special hour-and-a-half edition. We're on every week from 7 to 8. My name is Jim Campion. We are live. Numbers at the bottom of the screen. We'll get as many calls as we can. Want to also say, while we can, I want to thank, no one has, I don't think anybody has yet, Isabella Costa, who is the AD of Yorktown. I'd like to thank her for everything she has done to help us out as well, getting on the field for the games and, and making announcements, getting the kids to come today. Of course, all the coaching staff, all the families, all the parents and boosters and alumni and everything else, of course. And also, Ms. Heather Mercer, who was unable to make it tonight. She's the very, very first female player in Section 1. She kicked a 25-yard field goal, in fact, in the championship game. We'd like to congratulate her and thank her on a great, great season, an inaugural season, really the Jackie Robinson for the women in Section 1 football. So all the thanks out to those two ladies and, of course, everybody else who could not make it tonight. But two guys who did make it tonight and have been making it for the last month. And we got to thank these guys, because without these guys, this tonight wouldn't have been possible, and all the other stuff, all the calls these guys made even before they came on the show, coming on the show every week, not letting me down. We appreciate it. And, of course, winning it all. James Bumper Robeson, number 60 on the left, and, of course, number 15, Vinny DeAndrea. Guys, once again, for the last time, thanks a lot for being on the show, and thanks a lot for being on all the other shows, and congratulations. I don't need to ask any questions. James, give me some comments about this great season you guys had.
Oh, the season. Well, the season wouldn't have been possible without the coaches. I like to say thanks to all the coaches, Coach Paradiso, Coach Sanavica, Coach Costello, Coach Deans, Coach Daria, Coach
Walsh.
Coach Walsh. It was just a great year. I don't think it's hit me that we're going to state championship yet. The thing, like you were asking before, the thing that I remember most about the season, not only is the Gordon game, but the night that we all got together, and I remember we were like wondering, like we knew we had a lot of talent, but Coach was saying how we weren't like really a team, like we weren't really like gelled together, and I remember I was over Shane McCutcheon's house, and John Perez said, why don't we just have everybody over my house? And at first, I thought it was a stupid idea. I don't want to dog him down, but yeah, at first I didn't think it was a good idea, but I thought about it. I was like, yeah, we'll have it, and then it ended up being a great thing for the team, and we ended up beating Horse Greeley. Going through the whole season, we lost to Brewster, but Austin was a changing point. We rolled on since then, and it's the greatest season of my senior year, greatest season I'll ever remember, and I'll never forget it.
Vinny?
I just want to, say what Bumper said. I just want to thank the coaches. They were the best, put in tons of hours. I wouldn't have done it if I was them, but we appreciate it. And I want to thank the parents. They were all great, every one of them. They were excellent. And I want to thank the school. Oh no, never mind. I just wanted to say, Coach will verify this. It's very rare when I make a tackle, but when I do, Adam Lobig's always there talking trash to the other guy, and it's really funny. I'm going to miss that.
Okay, hey, listen, guys, thanks a lot for coming on the show. We're going to take a couple of calls for these two gentlemen, then we're going to go back to the big room and let everybody say hi. And also I'd like to thank Vinny for bussing people in and out, up and down, because me and him had an agenda, and he worked it out very well. Let's go to the phones. 4948 brings Frank to the Sports Club. Frank, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Jim?
Frank Nicolosi.
No, we're going.
Oh, Frank Ragone. Hey, how you doing? Tom's dad, Frank. How you doing?
Hey, Jim, I just want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
I want to congratulate the Yorktown players and the coaches, and I know the town's behind them, but I wonder if they realize, I think there's a lot of people that were pulling for them, in Mahopac and Putt Valley, everybody in the section, and they really showed the state what the section is made out of. And I guess all the hard work that went into getting into the state bowl game paid off. I wonder if that was an added pressure on these guys, thinking that they had to do well.
Sure, and not only that, Frank, you make a good point, too, because, have everybody in Section 1 thinking about the very first. We should congratulate North Rockland for winning the A championship as well. That is a great point, Frank, and not only, do these guys do a great job for their school, but they do it for the whole community and other communities and everybody in Section 1.
They raised all level of football, and it just shows the state teams what we're made of down here in Section 1. Even the two teams that didn't win, they got to the finals, and Ryan Tuckahoe, so we made it pretty good.
Thanks a lot, Frank.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, there goes Frank. And, of course, Mike Ragone is a great football player from Mahopac, and he said the same things last week. Let's take one more call. We'll ask these gentlemen to wrap up. Then we're going to go out before they wrap up, we'll go out to the room. Who's this next? Eric, 5313. Eric, welcome to the Sports Club.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you, Eric?
I just want to ask, first I just want to say congratulations to the team, a great season.
Sure.
Then I wanted to ask, what did it feel like playing in the Dome, What was the general feeling that you guys got playing in the Dome?
coaches that we were going to be all, excited and nervous. And I thought it might be too, but once I got in there, I was just like, this isn't anything. The turf wasn't that good. The people, the place looked empty. I mean, it was a great feeling, and it was, I guess to win the games, it was something to look forward to. But once we got there, it wasn't that big an idea, big a deal.
Man, you're focused.
Yeah, we were focused.
I think, yeah, we were. I think one of the main thing, the thing that made it so amazing was just the sound. Like we came out and we heard some people. We heard our crowd, and I felt good. When we heard Chittenango's crowd, it was like unbelievable.
It sounded like fake.
It sounded like it was like
on TV or
yeah,
something.
like one of those TV things where it says like applause or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It was unbelievable. Their crowd was huge, and because it's a dome, I guess the sound just magnified because it was unbelievable.
And when they were crying at the end, it sounded good.
Eric, thanks a lot for the call.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, that's well put because they had a lot more people. That Chittenango's way up there, and these guys had a big 4-hour trip to get up there. All right, is Tom ready with whoever's left? Let's go to Tom in the front room, and then we'll come back with these two gentlemen, and we'll wrap it up.
All right, Jim. Well, I feel like I'm in a forest here, surrounded by guys that are taller than me. In fact, everybody's taller than me. But in the few remaining minutes we have left, here's some other members of the Cornhusker team, and I'll let them introduce themselves and say hello to anybody they wish to do so.
My name's Dan Devine. I just want to say hi. Hi to my house.
I'm sure your house appreciated that. Then.
Hello, my name is John Perez. I just want to say hi to my mom, for helping out the team, and mostly my friends, mostly Rob Manson when I was getting up to the... yeah! When I was going through the rough times, that's all.
My name is John Giuliante. Just like to say hi to my mom and dad. Hello. I'm Matt Carantino. I'd like to say hi to my mom, my dad, my grandfather, and my grandma.
Hi, my name is Rohit Carantino. I'd like to thank the coaches and say hi to my family. I'm Matt Panzi. I want to say hi to my family and the Dark Side Rules.
My name's Tim Corbett. I just want to say hi to my mom and dad.
I'm Elliot Mazzell, and I'd like to say hi to my family and Tracy.
Name's Jay Pichette. Just like to say hello to my dad.
Well, there you go. And Jim, before we go off the air tonight, I think it would be appropriate if you and I, or at least let me say it here, I know you cannot hear me, but I would like to thank these gentlemen, this whole team, and the whole city of Yorktown for getting behind them, or the town of Yorktown. I'm being corrected in the background. It's not officially a city, but just a tremendous job by these guys, and they deserved it. Now back to you, Jim.
Thanks a lot, Tom. I know it was a tough job doing that the man on the street thing. I've just been informed that the whole team wants to join us for the close here, so we'll be on in a second. Before these guys do, again, congratulations and thanks a lot for letting me be part of it, a small part, just even to catch a glimpse of what it's like to be a champs and for doing all the things on the field as well as off the field. You guys have been exemplary. All the kids that were on the show have been great role models. You talk about role models, but you guys have been great for the younger kids playing Pop One and everything. Vinny, thanks a lot. And James, any final comments from both you guys?
I just want to thank all the teams from the past who helped us get here. And like Mr. Ragone said, everyone around the section, everyone around, appreciate it. Just want to say hi to the basketball team and OC, Duke sucks, buddy.
And James?
I like to thank the coaching staff. And if anybody, I really like to thank all the guys like the Rocco DeAndres, and like Coach always says, the Andy Shines, the Tommy Lopez's, all those other guys that were in the program before. They're just as much as the state championship as we are. And I also like to say, before a bunch of the games, we were saying not only want to do this for ourselves and the coaching staff and everybody, we're going to do this for Section 1 because that's who we represent, not only ourselves but Section 1 also. So everybody out there that was pulling up for us, thanks very much. We appreciate it, and we want it not just for ourselves but you too.
You guys are a big help.
Guys, thanks a lot. Once again, they'll always remember two numbers, 23 and 13. They won it 4 days ago, maybe 4 years, 40 years, 20, we don't know. But these guys will always remember it. The Yorktown Cornhuskers, the Class B 1993 champs, and as in a book I read many years ago called Run to Daylight by Vince Lombardi, we mentioned him earlier, he once said that greatness comes before winning. It's not the other way around. If these guys never won a thing, they'd still be great anyway. So let's welcome them in one last time. The Yorktown Cornhuskers 1993 Class B champs. Come on in, guys. Everybody get a shot of anybody coming in. Guys, thanks. Yeah. Look at this. She says something about Go ahead. Hey, we're going to get one last team message in here, and we're going to run.
Let me say something.
Go ahead.
I know. Hold on, Coach.
We got about 2 minutes. Go ahead. Take the mic. Go ahead.
Coach, let me say something real quick.
right. Well, I want to say one thing. And then
Coach is back in, baby. Watch out, get down.
I like to thank the community for getting behind us, and I like to thank all the people who really believed in Yorktown football and the program, the parents, the people in the community. I like to thank Tom and Jim because they started to follow us the last few weeks, get on the bus, and they've rallied behind us. They brought this exposure to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I like to give you the finest football team that you may ever see. Being the first state champs will always be the best. And there's the greatest bunch of guys you're ever going to meet, right here. 1993 Class B champs.
All right, go ahead. You want to say one last thing? Go ahead.
Somebody who wasn't on the camera before, who I think came up big for us. You know, he moved here from New Hampshire, and no one said anything about him. Jeff Lynch came from New Hampshire and did a really good job too.
All right, I got just one more thing.
Go ahead.
I'd like to thank Coach very much. Hope to see you back next year.
Hey, thanks a lot, Coach. For my entire staff, everybody, see you. We'll start back next week with the regular stuff, but it can't be this much fun. Good night, everyone.